I got a lot to cover, and I'm been really busy, but I'm gonna try to get this done when I can. Because I wanted it out quick. I wanted it out quicker. I wanted it out like days ago, but I'm gonna try to get this done in within this month, actually. So it could be out soon. Could be out. I don't know. Maybe next week. Next week of the 13th. I don't know. So, anyways, here we are. It is now September 10th, and I am going to start off by talking about YouTubers, China YouTubers. And what I'm seeing recently is this because of China YouTubers, it's mostly Westerners doing it. Um, and I'm seeing this Western division that we usually see in the West is where it's like left versus right. You like got the liberals, you got the conservatives. And so that's what we're kind of seeing here with the mindset. We always have this in the West. We're always debating politics like this. We got this kind of built into us. So I'm thinking this is what we're also seeing with the China YouTubers. We're seeing a divide now, and this has kind of started with Lawai86 and Serpent ZA. They kind of started this, so now it's been like uh, two sides going at it. And I think there is one thing I want to talk about is in this video is kind of bridging um, the understanding between the two, and actually just showing the sociology of the. I'm not a sociologist or anything like that. I'm just saying I'm looking at my perspective of how I see uh, the two oppositions that have shown up now. Um, so one thing I want to talk about is the division between pro-China YouTubers and anti-China YouTubers. And anti-China is what I mean is like people like Serpent ZA and Lao86. And pro-China YouTubers such as like Guelo60 and let's see, like people who are a little bit more um, political and maybe what's his name, Nathan Rich. That's really on the far end side. So if we look at China YouTubers, they're putting out positive content about China. Anti-China YouTubers, of course, putting negative stuff about the government and just negative stuff in general, culture and stuff like that. Just most of the stuff is just talking about that, which creates xenophobia, nationalism. You see a lot of nationalist posting on their site. It could be China nationalists or American nationalists, for example. Just doesn't matter. You're going to see that heated debate on their channel. And sometimes you see the trolling onto the other side, to the pro-China side, usually when it talks about politics. So we see this a lot, both sides. We got the trolls on both sides, the extremists on one side, extremists on the other side, just like the left and the right, far left, far right. You know, we got that. We got that going on because that's what Westerners are like. So even on the pro-China side, people are calling out people. No, sorry, people are being called out as living in bubbles. Don't think that's a very good argument because yes, some people choose to live that way. I mean, they don't. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're uneducated. They don't know what's going on around them. If they choose to live in a big city and they like that lifestyle and they want to show it, that's their content. There's nothing wrong with that. Even Winston and Matt made that point: is there's nothing wrong with that if you want to do that. So yeah, not a problem there. But if that's your argument, if that's your basic argument, it's flawed. I would have to say that. Okay, so pro-Chinas are usually, I wouldn't say this. No, I have to say this. Are they pro-government because they're pro-China? No, it doesn't always mean that. So if you're anti-China, does that mean you're anti-government? No, because you got a mix of kind of people on both sides. It doesn't matter what your political stance is if you're making pro-China videos. It makes no difference. I'm friends with liberals and conservatives. Some of them I don't even know if they're liberal or conservative, just based on what They say I can sometimes make it up, but it really doesn't matter to me. If if you're making the same kind of content that I do, and we agree on a lot of things, who you vote for in politics doesn't matter to me. Um, so anti-China videos, are they all Trump supporters? I've seen these arguments. I've seen people saying things like this. Doesn't necessarily mean they're Trump supporters either, because you even got liberals that are anti-China, right? Okay, so is pro-China left and anti-China right? No, not necessarily. You got to mix of both people in both groups. Okay, so does that make pro-China communism and anti-China videos democratic? No, because we got people from democratic countries and who still vote in their countries and who still believe in democracy making pro-China videos, right? All right, and socialism versus capitalism. So pro-China videos, are they trying to promote socialism? You do see that a bit. And anti-China videos, are they trying to promote more of a capitalist society? You probably do see that a bit. But you do see a lot of capitalism talked about on the other side. So I can't say those are definitive things, like those are definite. But so I can only say that we have positive content, negative content. That's how I view things. It's either positive or negative. That's it. I like to make positive stuff. I will talk about negative stuff. If something bugs me and it's negative, I bring it up. I don't ignore it. That's just life. Okay. So from a Western view, let's look at the anti-China video side. This is how I'm seeing it. The Western view of communism is still an old view. And I'm just making an observation. I'm not giving my political stance about communism or democracy. I'm just saying what my view is from what I see. Communism, from the Western perspective, is one view. It's bad. Because in the past, we look at North Korea, we look at Soviet Union and how it failed, the KGB, the gulags, poverty, all these failed systems in South America as well. And that's just the view, okay? I'm just stating that. So that's how a lot of people in the West see communism. So that's why you see so much anti-China government stuff. And this is just observation, okay? I'm not trying to make a political video, just talking about my observations. China. Successful. This is actually a successful system. It is communist. They call themselves a communist party. But in China, if you ask a lot of people, their perspective is it's actually capitalism with socialist characteristics. You've heard this before. So really, it's hard to define from the Western perspective because we have this one view of it. So there needs to be a bridge of understanding. I think people from the negative side, the anti-China side, should try to understand the other side and what their definition of communism or whatever system they have, and if they're happy with it, what they're unhappy with it. They do share those things. There are videos out there, and if you have Chinese friends, they can give their views about it. So basically, that's the first part of the video that I wanted to do, is just show some observations that I see with the China YouTubers, positive and negative. That's all I'm seeing. And yeah, I think it's good to have a level conversation, level-minded head about this, and be open to understanding each other. I've been getting a lot of videos about me, people just trolling and leaving lots of spam of like Wu Mao and CCP shill without me even ever talking about my views on politics and the government. And I think they don't understand, and they don't actually have, I I would say people like that don't have any connection in China. They've never been to China. Just hold on a sec. My daughter's calling. And some of them may have been to China, learned some of the language, and think they know Chinese people and think they know the system. But the thing to do is they hang on to their worldview when they go in. And then when things happen, when they see negative things, those things confirm their views, and then they walk away from it like that. Instead of thinking things clearly, for instance, maybe, for example, I could give a very simple example of a misunderstanding. Let's talk about the culture. When well, I can compare with here. So I know here people just, wear a hoodie, sweatpants when they go to Walmart. They don't really dress up. They just dress comfortable. And in China, people will dress up when they're going to visit a friend. They want to dress up not to show off, but they want to dress up to show respect for their friend. They want to do it for their friend. And, you see, I've had that experience here, for example, and I don't want to share too much detail because it's personal. But, for example, person A comes visits in Canada, and person A goes to a birthday party for person B's family, who is a Canadian family. Person A is Chinese. They dress really nice in a nice dress. They go to a party, and then everybody stares. Why are you dressed like that? And then a woman approaches her and says, "Could you not dress like that in front of my husband?" And she's just dressed casually. So there is misunderstanding like that. If that makes sense, there is some offense on the other side because they overjudge or presume something. That this person's trying to show off, but really in their heart, this is a common courtesy. This is the way people do things. And it's out of heart, and it's quite normal. But since these things don't happen with person B's family, they get offended when they shouldn't. It's just because of not understanding the other side. And that is not to blame person B, but it is something that we have a problem if we're not open-minded and try to understand. If we just come in with our own perspectives and keep them without talking, without trying to understand the culture and the people and why they came to be the way they are and why they do the things that they do, there will be no understanding. There'll be fear and anger and hatred for no reason, for unjust reasons. And we see this with the governments. They use politics to blame. And I'm saying this from any kind of politician. They will push it off to the next country. It's their fault. Anyways, this video was not supposed to be political, but I just wanted to give an example of the mindset of why we see this from the regular person up even to presidents and prime ministers. In the recent news, we saw what Trump said, and it just reflects that all politicians are the same. Okay, off politics, not doing it, sick of it. Let's talk about YouTubers. Why do they put out their content like this? Why are there people who live in China make such positive content? Why are there so many? And then why are there so many, I wouldn't say so many, but why are there these anti-China YouTubers living in the West now, bashing those guys making the positive content, saying that they're doing that in order to stay in the country and to say good things about the government just so that they don't get in trouble. That's ridiculous. There's no need for that. Unless they're guilty of something, right? So let's not label each other. Let's not do that. I think it's inappropriate and it's not good taste. It's not good image. I sound like I'm debating now. I'm trying not to, but it's been a big debate online and I'm just trying to bridge the two sides so that I can show my perspective about it, and hopefully everybody can calm down, leave it. If you want positive stuff, go for it, watch it. You want negative stuff, go for it, watch it. You'll get two great perspectives and you can get a level mind, a bigger perspective of things. It can get confusing too, especially if you're not even connected with anybody in China or even China itself. But at least you can get another perspective. You can open your mind. I'd suggest even watching some Chinese YouTubers. Just kind of read between the lines sometimes. It's hard to take truth from certain YouTubers because they don't really share their personal life and they don't need to. Just as me, take what I'm saying. If it makes sense, apply it, test it. That's science. Okay? So anyways, that's what I have to say so far. I'm thinking about adding a little bit more, so hold on. Now I want to talk about the last few videos ago. I talked about what changed about Serpent ZA and Lao 86. Now this is not an attack on them. I was pretty ticked off at the time I made that video, as you can see. I don't take back anything I said, but I do want to pay respect to those guys in knowing that for their wives leaving the country, it is hard. And it's going to be hard to adapt to a new culture and get used to things there and missing family and stuff like that. So I just want to send out my condolences. I understand what they're going through. Okay, so let's talk about compassion. Love for China and the people. What happened there? That's what they were putting out in the beginning. And they try to, too, still do that. But their compassion is turned towards, focused on political affiliation now. And I think that's dangerous and irrelevant, because your compassion for China has nothing to do with that. To turn it into politics is quite a turnoff for me. Not that it matters to you if you're the one who likes to continue watching their stuff, but their action for compassion towards Chinese people is to attack or criticize the government. And attacking other YouTubers and splitting YouTubers and expats into these two categories. You know, pro or anti-China. And it's just not fair. It's not a fair judgment. And it's a bit lazy logic to just say, because you're making positive stuff, because you go on a trip paid by a tourism board, affiliated with the government, that's paid by the government. I don't think that's quite a fair thing to say. I myself have gone on trips, tourism trips. I don't know if that tourist company was connected with the government or not. Did it matter? No, but if they're funded, if it's tourism, likely, but I know companies that aren't. I know one at least. And in order to do work in China, sometimes it's not possible to avoid that. So Just because you go on a trip, you do something, and you pay taxes there, right? Oh, so you're supporting the government. I mean, it's a ridiculous argument to make. Just because you're making positive videos about China, or you're just doing some tourism and positive stuff for the government, maybe you're on a news program or something like that, and maybe you're saying some things bad about your own government back home. I don't think that's wise either. I don't think like, I myself wouldn't do that. I just think it's stupid. What's the point of pandering to stuff like that? And maybe just to get more views, that's your choice. But I'm not going to look down on you if you're going to do that. I mean, it's just not the right thing to do. And that's what Lau86 and Matt do. Sorry, Lau86 and Serpent ZA do, is that they try to make it look like this is how it is. If you're doing that, you're a horrible person. You know, let's lambaste this person. You're an idiot. You're a white monkey. That's racist. You're a Wu Mao. You're a shill to the government. It's really ridiculous. I hope this video is not dragging on. It feels like it is because I'm trying to put it together as best as I could. I want to say I love China. It's where my daughter was born. It was where I got married. It's really a place where I grew. And so I do have a strong connection with it. And the people. I was there when the pandemic started. I saw how people just bound together, work together, the whole country. I don't get this experience in Canada. It's split up. It's been very political this past decade. And those are kind of things I'm just addressing and observing, that we have a problem in the West. I'm not saying democracy is wrong. I'm not saying that it's wrong to have different views. It's healthy to have opposing parties and, more choices to choose from. But then I also see the positives in China, how the system's working too. But that doesn't make me a shill for the government, okay? That's just from my experience and from what I see. I see there's positives and I know there's negatives. I just don't want to be one of those political guys. I just want to observe things, say it as they are, and I don't need to be answering, certain people leaving comments saying that, well, why don't you have them give us some negatives? You have to do that. No, I don't have to do that. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to pander to anybody. If people like my content, they just watch it. You don't just leave. But yeah, the expression is a free country. Okay, if you don't like it, you know what your mother said? Don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything. So if you don't like it, go somewhere else. If you're going to be name calling, I'm going to delete your comment. If you have some concrete criticism and comments you want to give, and I'm fine with that. And I do reply to those and I keep them on board because it gives a healthy debate. But if you're on there just to curse people out and to make trouble, troll or spam, of course I'm going to delete you. It's my content. I don't want that garbage on my site, on my channel. And I don't want people fighting, okay? So that's it. I think that's the best I can do for now. If I have more, I'll probably post it right after this. If not, I hope you liked it. I hope it was helpful. If you want to share it, please. Give a thumbs up. And I hope you can subscribe because it's something I really enjoy doing, and I've been really enjoy sharing these thoughts. All right? Let's talk later in the next one. Bye-bye.